But we need all the spiritual gifts. We need the doers and we need the thinkers and we need all of those things. But it doesn't stay together and it doesn't have the fuel to go forward without love. And so you need components. I think we have one more sibling that has the love component. I think it's Sarah. But I mean, we all have love. We're all operating out of love. But there's a few people that lead with love and make sure that that it stays together.
Thanks for joining us, you guys, again. Woolly Family Podcast, Woolly 10. We're getting ready to schedule this a couple of days ago, and it got brought up to Angela, our oldest sister, and so she's joining us for this episode. The first sibling, the oldest.
The oldest.
Number one.
We could say it started with her, but it started with both our oldest siblings. They kind of, well, you came first, obviously, but they were the first of their families. But she's been the oldest of our family, of this group of 10 that started us all off. So thank you for being with us. This is kind of last minute.
I'm excited.
We just
I'm excited about this project.
threw you in and this documentary of our family. And yeah, so we thought it would be really awesome to start with the oldest, which is Angie. So tell us just a little bit about yourself real quick so that they can get a feel for who you are, and then we'll jump into a few more things with you.
Okay, so obviously the oldest, 10 kids. I have 6 of my own and 1.5 grandbabies. Yay! They're so cute. Both boys. Let's see. We have, my husband is a construction project manager, so he's the nicely dressed man on the job site that keeps track of all of the...
That's a good way of saying that.
Yeah, all of the financial records and all of the contracts and the subcontractors and everything. And we homeschool our kids. We have a business where we do puppies. We breed little puppies, and
they're the cutest.
And they are the
They are
cutest.
very cute puppies.
It's really fun to wake up to unconditional love every morning. Unconditional love and poop every morning.
And unconditional work.
Unconditional work, yeah. Never stops. So that's just what we do.
Do you have a favorite, like if you could describe an experience that you've had with the puppy breeding business that really like highlights and illustrates what it's like to own a business that breeds dogs?
Yeah. So let's see. So the first thing that comes to mind, this isn't really about this too much. So we grew up in our house. Our mom loves animals. So we had lots of animals and lots of puppies and kittens and stuff all the time. Rats.
We had rats.
We had birds, turtles, turkeys, birds, poultry, chicken. We had lots of animals, and our mom loves animals. So we were very familiar with this. So when we brought the business into our home, well, in fact, Adam and my husband and I, that's how I put him through school. We bred puppies for a while, and then we let that go.
Really?
So, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we had some dog. Anyway, that's how we paid for school, so we could do school without debt. Anyway.
I don't think I knew that either.
Oh, yeah, we did.
I'm like, maybe I knew. I don't think I knew.
Anyway, our cousin had built this business for 20 years or less than 18 years, something like that. Anyway, and she wanted to retire. So when she approached me and said, I know you've done this your whole life. Do you want to buy our business? We bought the business from her. And when we did that, we had a daughter that was really struggling, had been for a couple of years, to the point where I don't want to cry on our first episode.
Go.
We're like not even 10 minutes in, but you can.
I'm
Go
not going to.
It's okay.
Do
Disclaimer,
it.
the Woolies are
She
criers.
cried twice in our last episode.
We are
Within the
crybabies.
first minute. No,
We
just kidding.
are
We're
All
just,
of us.
you're going to get crying on every episode.
Anyway, so this daughter just struggled so much that I thought we were going to be those parents that woke up to a dead kid. Like, I didn't know what to do. Every night I'd send her to bed. Heavenly Father, keep her alive. I don't know what to do. So we brought those puppies into our home, and they saved her waking up to that unconditional love every morning. So it was within a month, we just watched this transformation of complete healing and just having that in our home. Obviously through God, he sent those puppies to her, but, and she's better. I mean, that was years ago, and she's moved out.
She is
She's
a lot better.
She's so
Like,
great.
She's so fun to be around.
Yeah, she's so fun, and she's sassy and strong, and anyway, but so I would say that's our best. I think that's why we have our puppies, is for our children.
That is awesome.
I would say that's a pretty crowning
That's a
story.
good-
Yeah, it's a good one
story.
to lead with.
Saved our daughter's life. I know it saved her life, and I think with with the things that we'll talk about and the stresses of the world, I think that filter of puppies for all of my kids who are vulnerable keeps them.
Your kids
keeps them
all,
same.
yeah,
Same.
they all seem like they like the dogs a
Yeah.
lot. When I've come
It's an
over,
understatement. They're always like, "Oh, I love a puppy."
they seem like
Yeah.
they like them. I think that it's interesting you talk about the unconditional love. I know the moms brought that up. Why she always seemed like she had dogs, needed a dog or wanted a dog, and she's talked about that a couple of times. How she felt like it was just like this source of love that she could engage with or could have in her life. I think it's cool because we talk about connection a lot, and especially like in the context of families and relationships, we know that connection's important. I think mostly like out of all of our stories, one of the most common things is connection that we try to drive at or hit home. And so it's just interesting thinking about like the connection between that people can have with dogs. Like, yes, animals, I believe that's true, but also I feel like it helps facilitate deeper connections between humans.
And it demands the connection.
Yeah,
Like we joke unconditional work, but like you have to
you do.
take care of them.
It's a lot of work.
They just don't survive on their own.
And a lot of the people that we sell to are looking for that connection. And so it's really rewarding. We get updates constantly, and delivering a puppy to a family that just bursts into tears because they can feel that.
Wow,
It's
that's
very
cool.
It is very rewarding. Like tomorrow, the family we're delivering to is just they're just it's just it is really, it's a lot of work. It's so rewarding, and we're very careful about our brand and our breeds, and anyway, so
Good for you.
lots of reward.
lot of
Which is why we keep doing it.
That is cool. Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about your role as the oldest. I know you've had some thoughts. What you watched, I don't know how well your memory is. I know my
I'm
memory
not that old.
is.
Not yet.
Yeah, but I like lost track of my life at age 20. So like I
What do you mean by lost track of?
like I can't
Maybe
I can't
you're not
remember.
qualified anymore. Dementia.
Yeah, something like that. Very selective remembrance. I don't remember a lot before the age of 10. I don't remember my childhood very much. I mean,
I remember your childhood very much.
that's what I'm saying. Like I think your memory is way better than mine. But like you watched the whole family unfold bit by bit. You were 4 years old, no, 5 when I came
5.5, yeah.
into the mix. So, what was that like? I think let's save your story of the mixing of the families for another one, because I think that's going to be a little bit more intimate and raw, because that was a lot of work on all of the parts of the 4. So let's jump and to like when the family started unfolding in your life, and what role did you find yourself in? What role did you consciously take on? Like, how has that been being the second mother, the pseudo mother of all of us,
Yeah.
as the 8 remaining children came on board?
Yeah.
You okay with that?
Yeah. That's a fun question because, so yeah, you were born, Michael was born, and it was fun. It was just only fun. Like, babies are awesome. And you guys were so funny and so cute. I felt like I was a little child and then enjoying little brothers and sisters. And then Sarah came, and our mom decided to go back to school. She went back to school. I was 10. She went back to school, and she didn't just go back to school to learn. She went back to school to be a midwife, which is hands-on. You have to deliver like 300 babies or something. I don't know if that's the wrong
And
number.
in the middle of the night, and like all hours.
Yeah, so she was in classes, she's studying all the time, and then she's out on deliveries all the time. And so I, as a 10-year-old, I think really based on super huge insecurities I have was like, I can be the mom, you know? And so I think I was doing that out of self-validation and feeling a need to feel appreciated, like I had a role. And so our dad, he had just finished school himself. I mean,
Because he went back to school.
yeah, he had a degree in physical education or something, and then he went back to school sorry, my nose is running, to get a teaching certificate. So he had been in school for a long time and then was teaching. So sorry, I could have wiped my nose. Anyway, so there was a lot of absent parents. That sounds wrong. That's not the right way, but they're just busy. But I thought it was great. I liked keeping the house clean. I liked knowing where you all were. I liked knowing how to do the bottles. I liked knowing how to birth the babies and change the diapers. I thought that was really, really fun. I do remember one time, about a year into it, watching Full House and having one of the kids have a breakdown with the parents and thinking, what would that look like if I was finally honest with my parents and you're not home very often, and had a breakdown. And I remember asking myself, did I learn that from Full House, or is that how I really feel? You know, I couldn't tell. But I know I was feeling a lot of like heavy. And then we moved into it. School takes whatever, 2 to 3 years, and then all the deliveries. So it took a long time. And that was just kind of my role. And we were homeschooling at the time, so I was home a lot. So it got taken care of. And I do remember like mom would get pregnant again or something, she'd be gone a long time, the house would get messy, and if I didn't stay on top of it, I remember it always seemed to me that people would come over when the house was the messiest, and I was so embarrassed. And I did like
took
just
on a mom role
yeah,
early.
yeah, I just remember being like, oh my gosh, they came over and they saw this. So it was something that mattered to me. And when I look back now, I'm like, oh, it's heavy. It was heavy, but it also validated me, and I got something out of it. So time went on, and it kind of just seemed to be the role that fell on me. I took it, and mom and dad gave it gratefully, because having somebody else there helping all the time, and to the point where when you guys were really little and Adam came around, my husband, he thought it was hilarious how you guys would come. I didn't even live there all the time, but you guys would come over and say, can I go to JM's house, or can I? And I would say, yes, no, yes. And I just kept track of where
ask permission
where
for
everybody
you.
was. And mom didn't even have to worry about it. And I was 20 years old. I didn't live at home anymore, you know, but as long as on that day, if I had come home to visit, everybody just came to me.
Yeah, if mom was busy, it was like, oh, well, we'll go tell Angie.
Yeah.
And we'll just get it, like, she'll either tell or take care of it, but, like, yeah. We
That's
don't
pretty
have to
interesting. Yeah, I
bug
didn't
mom all the time.
realize.
Yeah.
That.
So
I never made that connection.
it was really, and you know, it's funny. Adam thought that was hilarious. Like, I say yes a lot, mom.
Yeah, she was
know,
a yes
I do.
mom.
Yeah,
no.
she was a yes.
So it was easier, I think.
Not
for
the
you guys.
mom wasn't a yes mom, but she was just the mom, so she had
has a
more
lot to
on her
keep track
plate.
of.
But
Yeah, she has a lot.
we
to
knew
keep track
that like she had more capacity to say no.
of. Yeah,
So we were
and I do have
our bet was better.
I do
right
have a
with
lot
you.
of like type 1 in me where I want to play. So if you guys are off to play, I'm like, oh yay, that sounds fun. Yeah, go play. That sounds like so much fun. I would much rather do that than clean with you or
You
something.
didn't care about our chores.
So no. Anyway,
Not at that time.
so yeah, it was a lot. And then throughout the years, we had people live with us, you know, families move in with us, some cousins move in with us, and that needed places to stay. And that took up a lot of extra space. And I felt like, you know, mom likes to, she's such a social person. So if somebody moves in or is close that she really connects to, she kind of just wants to feed with them, you know, and bond with them.
Yeah.
And so then at those moments, I felt like a lot of the chores were on me. A lot of the domestic stuff was on me. So I don't know. I remember, and if I got in trouble ever, I could clean my way out of a grounding. Like I would get in trouble or
Yeah,
do
she
something.
was very good at bargaining.
So, yeah. So I could work. I didn't want to be kept at home. And so I could do a domestic chore, like a big one, to get out of a punishment, you know, and mom was like, done. So I think they all saw me as that domestic person. So that was fun. But when we got married, when my husband and I got married, Adam and I got married. We didn't get married. We wanted to have kids right away, and we just didn't get pregnant. We didn't have our first daughter for 2 years, and I don't know why. We even went to a specialist. Everything was healthy and fine. But I know now God was just giving me a break. Yeah. Like when I looked back, especially when we're in the throngs of diapers, you know, we had 4 kids. When we finally started having kids, we had 4 in 5 years, really fast. And I think he was like, aren't you glad you had 2 years? months of a break before we got into this, because this is a lot of work. And I really was like, oh, that was so fun to just not do a car seat or not do, feed babies. In fact,
Not have that responsibility.
when we were looking, we pulled out my wedding videos the other day, the kids, and my bridal shower that you guys all threw me, and you did the trivia game. What would Adam say? And the whole time we're doing that, Carolee, who was 2 years old, our littlest sister, she was just climbing all over me and holding and pulling my hair, and I was just watching and doing my game and stuff. But I thought I was tired. I was like, get off of me. But in the video, I don't even burn it. It's just what we did.
You were tired.
Oh, you're talking about
watching
your
the video.
reaction now.
Yeah, my reaction now watching it was like, oh my gosh, get off, Carolee, get off. But
You're in the throngs of motherhood right there on the video, but you didn't even register that you were in the throngs.
I wasn't even married then. So that just kind of how it was. There was just always she was 2 at the time, and just dealing with a little baby while you're talking. And I thought, oh my goodness.
Well, she was on
Just what you
you
grew up
because
with.
Mom had the baby.
Yeah.
She had David, who
had
had
a
she
baby.
just given birth
Yes.
to.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like she could take care of Carolee, and
Yeah.
I said, you can have her.
Yeah. So it was a lot.
Nice.
And that usually when people have a baby, they're like, oh, I can't believe how much I love this baby. I can't believe the gravity of the role that they're about to play.
Yeah.
That was really easy. I didn't have a transition like that at all. I really I think every one of you, you could have come out of my own body, because we worked so much together that when I had my own kids, it was just an easy, I know this kind of love. This is easy. And it was not overwhelming in a negative way at all. Overwhelming in a beautiful way, but
I do feel like it's been very easy over the years to see that in you, a different level of love. I think as siblings, obviously as siblings, we all love each other, and relationships they go pretty well, I would say, for the most part. I do feel like when I think about you, or when I think about how you feel about us or me, I think it's easy to see there's a little bit extra there, something more than
oh, good.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad it's not for
what the-
nothing.
It's not for
Then
nothing.
what the
It
other
was a lot of
siblings-
work. I'm glad that people.
It was.
Yeah, it's just different. I think
love.
that's you're unique. Every sibling has kind of a unique aspect or something unique that they bring to the relationship, and that for sure is. I think it's recognizable in years. I think it's cool that you bring up the 2 years between getting married and having Lydia, that time to play. Because Monica and we got pregnant very quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, because I had 6
Tell
years
them
in college to play, and then
Your first weekend.
we got.
We're
It
married.
wasn't the first
And
week.
a baby.
Come on, give him a month. It wasn't.
It wasn't a honeymoon baby.
It was
but
I
pretty
think
dang
October. What is
close.
it? Your anniversary? October 28th? Is it the 28th?
9th,
28th, and then
29th.
you announce on Christmas that you're pregnant. That's pretty quick.
It was very quick.
His
That was
mouth.
fun.
Why are you
But not a
shocked about
honeymoon.
your life?
That's
But
what we
then
got
and
for
then he
Christmas.
came a
You haven't
couple
even
weeks.
had time to lose track.
He came a couple weeks early too, and
Yeah.
so then we're like, well,
You jumped right in. That was, yeah.
It's good you had that month. 'Cause God's like honeymoon baby, and a few weeks earlier wouldn't have looked good.
yeah,
Let's have him do it the month after, so it still looks legal
legal, yeah.
in God's kingdom. Just kidding.
No, you guys have
Just
handled
But
it
yes, I
really
agree.
well, really fast.
Well,
God's
I think
grace.
that it's
Because you did.
it
have
was
a
just
long
totally
time.
flipped. Yeah, in college, I went to college, junior college for 2 years, and transferred, and then worked for a little bit, then back to grad school, and then that's finally when I got married. And we talk about it all the time. We enjoyed every bit of going through college and not having to worry about some of the stresses that come with marriage and
Yeah.
raising a family and stuff like that.
What?
So I just think
You didn't graduate from college 10 years after high school? That was a long journey for us. We got married so young.
10 years.
We laugh about it all the time. You know that line from Tommy Boy, just
Oh,
a
yeah,
shade
yeah.
under a
Yeah,
decade.
they're called
All right.
doctors.
Yeah, they're called doctors. Yeah, it's Adam changed his major so many times and just didn't know what he wanted to do. And so we
So he's
graduated.
not a doctor.
No, he's not a doctor. He's a construction doctor. We graduated from high school in 1998, and he was scheduled to graduate from college in 2008. We squished in an extra semester early, so December 2007. So just a shade under a decade. All right. That's,
I don't think I comprehended that.
it was
I
a
left
long time.
Yeah, I
I
don't think
had
I realized
left
that either.
the home by that he hadn't graduated yet.
Yeah, a long
So-
time. It was a long time.
Like I
Adam
left to go
hadn't
to New Jersey
graduated?
when that was still going on.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up there's a lot of times where we talk about as a family how unified our family is, and I feel that, we all know that we feel we just get along so cohesively, and I think it's natural to say mom and dad did a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
they did. And I'm
did a
not
great job.
taking away from mom and dad, because mom, like, have you ever seen Trolls?
Yeah.
Like, if we could give mom a gift from a movie line, it would be "No troll left behind."
Yeah, 100%.
That king that runs out, like,
Yes.
that's how I see mom. Like, and she was
Yeah.
like adamant, like,
Yeah.
you don't leave any of us out.
Yes.
She always included everybody. And dad was always in support of that. Dad never, I don't feel like he was a yes man as well. Like, he had his gruff way of bringing it about, but like, deep down, he couldn't say no to anybody.
He's the gruff, lovable guy on every movie that you're like,
Yeah.
I love the grumpy neighbor.
He's really the
so
teddy bear.
sweet.
Ironically,
Yeah.
his nickname in high school was Naked Bear, because he's that gruff bear, but he's the teddy
Yeah.
bear
Yeah.
underneath it all. So, like, he can't say no to anybody, especially if you say it's my dream. But so they did a great job at keeping our family united. But I look at, like, if we pull back some of the layers, and we get into these incredible gifts that each of the siblings brought on board with them, I think we have discovered, like, part of the unity of our family is because you were there to pick up the pieces that mom and dad couldn't do at the time. And it's not because they were slacking, it's they were doing their roles
Yeah.
that God had sent them to do. Dad was providing for the family. Mom needed to gain this skill, and it's blessed our lives because she did it.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad she followed that route.
Yeah.
But because they were led into other areas that they couldn't maintain the house to a certain level, or the kids to a level that they wanted, that the fact that you stepped in and you have this, like, incredible gift of love for all of us, and we've all felt that. Like, we almost have to say sometimes, like,
Back up.
you don't need to protect us.
I
Like,
know. She did this morning.
don't
we were
need
on
to
a
be a
walk.
mom.
She's like, no, you're doing your big sister thing. No.
yeah, it's okay. Like,
okay.
we're good. But you have so much love that you kept mom's no troll left behind mantra intact, and you didn't let us fall through the cracks. And then we have, like, all the rest of us. I think it'd be fun at one point. We'll have to do an episode where we go through all 10, and I think it'll be so fun to profile each other
That would be fun.
with movie characters, but, like, also spiritual gifts, because I think every one of us came with an aspect of unity that we engaged heavily in with our family. Like, I know I felt that strongly. I didn't have the love factor. I did have a fun factor.
Yeah, you have-
that
You have a gathering factor. You pull us all together and
I
get
do
us
like
to
to gather.
do things that
especially if we're gonna laugh. and
nobody
have
else.
fun.
In fact, in the past we've had other siblings get irritated. Like, I'm trying to organize this
Yeah.
and I can't get it. But if Lacey says it, we all just jump in. Like, you do have a
That is
gathering.
true.
It's my
for our-
superpower.
Yeah, it's
But we
very
all
impressive.
have superpowers
Yes.
that, like, build that unity. So it was definitely started by mom and dad, but perpetuated by all of us. And I think but it was perpetuated, and it was the thing to do because you exemplified it. It was what the oldest set the pattern for. And
Well,
it's easier to do what the oldest does than to do what your parents tell you to do.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think we followed that suit. Well, at least for me,
That's pretty cool.
It was easier to do what a sibling did than
What
be
mom and
told to
dad
do what
told
mom.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
you've set that tone really well for us, and you did it in such a place of love that it was like, oh, this is what we do in this family. We unite. We keep ourselves together. We
You
Yeah.
did do
very
a
nice.
good job, and I think that, like, you talk about unity, I would say that there are some things about our family that naturally create a unity. And, like, when I think about a family, a huge part of a family is, like, being able to I don't know, to, like, lift or support other people when
Yeah.
things get spread thin. And, like, I just picture mom and dad going to school while still trying to grow and raise a family, that's when things start to spread thin. And it just must be like naturally the next person to kind of, like, step up in line would be the oldest, because they're the most developed and can think about things and step into that a little bit more. But, like, for me, I think about, like, that's what a huge part of the family is being able to step in when other people gotta
Yeah.
go off in
Step
this
out for a second.
direction. Yeah. And I feel like awesome example. I do think that mom's mentality of like everybody is included played a huge role in how we developed our relationships, how we communicate.
I think
agree.
she brought us into the world with that energy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not leaving you out. I'm bringing you through the veil. I like,
Yeah.
just for the nature that she had 10 children.
Yeah.
Was like, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop just because
Yeah.
it's convenient, and it wasn't convenient. Her health wise and stuff, she should have stopped earlier, but she was, I will
Should
not.
have stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, should have. But
Should have stopped.
Should've.
We're not judging our mom.
no,
Yeah,
no,
we're-
no.
we're
Doctors
impressed with
told
her.
her she
Like
should
it
have
was
stopped,
told
not
to
because
her,
us.
yeah.
But the fact that she was like, I'm not going to leave anyone out that needs to be here, and she knew what that number was, and she was in communication with God for it. She got them all here, so I think we all came with this energy,
Like honoring that.
that.
respecting.
Like, we don't leave anyone out.
Yeah.
We don't leave anyone behind, and interesting enough, like, you followed that energy. I feel like I picked up that, and everything I did with the family was led with that energy. So we have a sister between us, Heather, who comes from our dad's first marriage. She picked up dad. Like, she, like, if there was a job that needed to be done,
Yeah.
she got it done.
Yeah.
And like, if there was a dirty job to do, like clean out the cellar or clean out the ditches or unclog the toilet, like, it was
She was on it.
Heather, and it wasn't even like us. It wasn't like us calling her and like she got irritated. It was like
An
like,
honor to
Yeah,
her.
like you felt this honor of
Yeah.
like I'll be the second mom. She was like, I'll be the second worker. Like,
Yeah.
if dad can't get to the job, I remember her fixing everything, and she still is this fixer in the
Yes.
family, and
Yeah.
she's still like, if you need this, if you need that. I just think it's fun how we all kind of like see these energies from our parents, and we have that honor to continue on in those energies to uplift the family. Did I say uplift the family? Help lift the family. Sometimes I
think
don't
they
know what I
both
say.
work.
Both favorites.
Anyway,
I think
so
you did great as
Thank
the
you.
oldest sibling.
Thank
Job
you.
well done.
Thank you.
this
I
is where
have-
we give you your certificate
yeah.
in an honor of Angie.
I love it. Thank
And
you.
her
It's
role as
nice.
oldest.
It's nice to be acknowledged because I felt like I worked really hard.
You did.
So I felt like it was.
I think you're still working
I know.
harder than you need to.
Oh man, no, I've stepped
Like,
back quite a bit. I haven't
you
seen you guys
have.
since Christmas. It's been a while.
No, you're you can see the energy that gets worked up in you of like when someone brings something to the table in the family of like something that could get fixed or a struggle that they're going through. You can kind of see this like, oh, I gotta help them. I've got to like how you want to like get there and protect them and help them through it. And at the same time, you can see the battle in you. At least it feels like it. It feels like you're like, no, Angie, no, Angie.
I
no."
know, I
Like,
have to hold myself
back it
back.
up, back it up, back it up. They're
Well,
they're grown adults now. They don't need me so much. Like,
Yeah.
we must have needed you hardcore because
Well, either
That's
that or
still
I
very
had
strong.
such big insecurities. I needed your validation. You need me.
Well, here's
I
our
convinced- I
validation.
convinced you all that you needed me.
you we
No,
loved it.
It's good. It has
So
been-
much that we didn't even know we didn't have a mom. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
But like, I don't
Yeah.
think any of us registered how busy mom was
Yeah.
because
Oh,
in
yeah.
our mind, the house, I don't feel like the house was ever messy. And I felt like the chores always were done and always had to be done.
Because it was Angie doing it.
But I didn't feel like we always were eating. We had meals. The house was clean. I didn't feel like we skipped a beat. But I don't think I registered that it was two moms doing the job. I think I just thought it was mom doing the job. So you did it very flawlessly because
Thank
I don't
you.
think we recognized just how much effort you put into it.
I would
'cause we
say-
never saw that mom was gappy or like that had stepped
She's
back
just
and do
busy.
this area.
Yeah, she was busy. I had, I will say I would say if I had a superpower, it is to walk into a room and observe the system and be able to duplicate it really fast. So whatever mom and dad were doing, I was really good. I know where this goes. I know where this goes. I know where this is. So I can keep it as smooth as possible. Because I do in between, I've told Lacey this before, but in between, after Mike Estelle died and then mom and dad getting married,
Mike Estelle's her dad.
yeah, my first dad.
Okay.
in between that space, I have really vivid memories of just, if mom had to go to school or whatever, being left at a babysitter, terrified, scared, or that's not the way we do it. Just the upheaval. And even when they got married, I had this really vivid memory of mom going to like a church function in the evening one night and dad not knowing what to do with us. And there were a few extra neighborhood kids over. All the ladies went to church. Dad made us sit on the couch and learn Chattanooga Choo Choo. And I remember thinking,
Do you know it?
this is so boring. This is not the way mom does it, and they were brand new married and pardon me, boys, is that the Chattanooga Choo Choo? And
He taught it to you?
We had to learn that song. And then they made us do it for the next year at a family talent show,
Oh, so fun.
Anyway, but I remember I didn't understand the
funny.
song, and I remember thinking, this is a stupid song, and we're all just stuck here, and this is not how mom does it. And I didn't, now looking back, it's hilarious, but at the time I didn't like it so much as a 4 and 5-year-old little girl. I didn't like it so much that I thought, I'm not going to do that. And I even
So
substitute.
you were bugged with them, even though he was trying so hard to babysit you
Yeah,
guys.
well, he was just kind of sit down. We're going to learn this song. It wasn't like, hey, let's learn this song about frogs or something. It was about a choo-choo that it sounds like it should be a kid's song, but it's not.
funny.
And so anyway, I just remember
funny.
thinking, this is uncomfortable, and I don't know what to do. So even when we got older and I finished college, I was pregnant, I was substitute teaching, and I remember going to the classrooms early to learn the system of the teacher so I could make it as smooth as possible for the students coming in. So they weren't like, where's our teacher? Or it went crazy. And I had a lot of callbacks like, we want you to be our sub. I did a good job at sub teaching. I'm just good at finding a system and sticking with it. So,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You are good at that.
So I can make it smooth.
Yeah, I didn't know you were good at that back then. But I can see that as an adult because there's so many times you're like, I have to unlearn this system.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like when I'm done with the system 3 days later, I'm like, it's gone.
Yeah.
And I pivot real quick.
I think
so. I haven't I've had to understand where you're coming from when you're like, I learned all about this, but it's not serving me anymore. I got to unlearn it so I can learn something else. And I'm like, how do you stick to something so strongly and be able to duplicate it so strongly?
Yeah.
That's never been my superpower.
Yeah.
So,
It works for a little bit.
Good job.
It works for a little bit. Power of
can see.
observation. I am good at
Yes.
And duplication.
that. Yeah.
That's good.
I wished a lot growing up I could, create something beautiful on my own, but I can duplicate everybody's stuff. And now I can create. Now I've learned, principles of creation, and we have created our business. We've changed our brand. We've done, we have
Your
created.
home's beautiful.
But even with my home, I had to call Monica, help me with my color scheme. I had to call your wife and get some advice. She came over and sat with me all afternoon and helped me put it together. Once I had it in my head, then I can create it. But
That's good. That's her strong point.
I know,
It's
she's
utilizing everybody's. Okay, so as we kind of come near to the end of this, let's say, do you have, besides the Chattanooga story? I've never heard that.
I've
was
never heard that
hilarious.
one either.
And I actually listening to that, I was like, he still does that.
yeah, he does.
Where he doesn't teach us songs, but if we show up to visit or do anything with the family, and mom's like, I have to go or is gone or something, he's like, oh,
A filler space, yeah.
how do I entertain? How do I
scrambles, yeah.
you can tell he settles into it, but you can tell that panic of do I pull out Chattanooga or something? And
Yeah.
that's
That
funny
is pretty
because
funny.
he still does that. But
I think it's.
go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I just think it's funny. I picture it. It's the dynamics between a man and a woman, and especially in our the specific way that we believe families function, or the roles and responsibilities of men and women. I think it's funny to see well, this isn't funny, but women are very good at stepping into some of those roles naturally. It's funny to hear the stories of men when they're they need to step into that kind of role and how it fits. I remember hearing funny stories about Adam, your husband, when he would watch the kids, and the kids are like, Dad, are you babysitting us?
Because I'm not
It's
the
I'm not
babysitter.
babysitting you. I'm just your dad. I'm
the
just
father.
here. I'm watching you guys. But it's just it totally. So I picture when you talk about dad doing that, I think it's just a very similar thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this is this is kind of new for
not the
me,
full-time
and
job.
like
I think-
out that's where the
I think
chat
men
is
kind of
at.
feel that way a little bit though. Like your mom will be back at certain time. Like they feel like I'm babysitting.
Yeah.
To an
Oh,
extent.
yeah,
Like
100%.
I'm watching the kids, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I've never clarified my job or my role as a mother of like, I'm watching the kids till you get home. But he tells me all the time, when are you gonna be home? Like, how long do I have to watch them? I'm like, you brought them into this world. Like,
Yeah.
what part of this is not a babysitting
Yeah,
job?
it is funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
doing free labor.
You're the boss
Yeah.
of the whole thing.
You're actually in charge
The
of all
most,
of it.
you're the most in charge. We had a lesson
More
about
than
that on family, Sunday thing the other day. Like, who's the most responsible? Dad is, and we watched a reel about some guy that was, explaining Christian fatherhood. This is what a Christian man does. And so we watched that. And I was telling our boys, this is what you do. This is what he does. He just does it very quietly so you don't see it. But this is when we all die and we stand before God, he'll say, Adam, what did you do with your family? And anyway, take it serious anyway.
I feel like
And he does. I do feel like
Ask
Adam
Angie.
genuinely. I feel like
does.
Adam does do a good job, and it
He's
really
a very
is.
good father and a very good provider.
Yeah, like when you say
very
he just
good
does it
husband.
quietly. It's not like
I think every man does
like
it.
trying to.
Not every, but a good Christian man
Yeah.
will do it quietly.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question was to wrap it up. Tell us, do you have any like funny memory or anything that like would summarize like our family, just like fond memories of that, the growing up stage? Because I know it was a lot of work, so maybe I'm asking you to do too much here.
No,
But
no.
I feel like you're a very fun person. Like she had a lot of responsibilities and she did that really well. But I think we stepped into that energy and followed suit because you did make it fun and you still made it enjoyable and you didn't make it look like a burden. Like John and I admitted, we didn't even know you were doing it.
Yeah.
So like obviously you didn't wear this mantle as a hard thing. You still made life really enjoyable for all of us. So
you.
what was the enjoyable part of being in the home with the 10? Well, you didn't, for the majority of us, you didn't,
Yeah.
you weren't there with all 10 of us, but yeah, like a fun memory or something that like would show the joy of being the oldest of 10.
One thing I absolutely love is, this is so silly. I literally miss it every fall, not going to your flag football games.
Oh, really?
So being able to show up for every fall, I'm like, I wish I had
With
a
a
flag
scarf
Yeah.
and a beanie.
and just
dressed up.
my chair and coming to watch flag football and bringing my little kids. I miss that every fall. I really liked that. And like you said, I had moved out of the house before the youngest two were even born. So having to,
David. Oh no, yeah.
Carolee, too.
was born.
Yeah.
After.
so I had to work extra on those. So we brought you guys a lot into our home, like as many times as we could. And then even when we moved to Texas, like Sarah spent 3 or 4 summers with us. Bailey came. Everybody came at least once for a little bit. And even Carolee and David, we drove them down there and they stayed for a week or two, but we tried really hard to make sure, and I still try really hard to make sure that
That we stay together.
I don't want, because I'm 21 years older than David, so the youngest, and he's Lydia's age. He and Lydia could be really good friends.
If you'd had a baby when you wanted,
Yeah.
they would be.
They would be the same age.
No,
in
just
fact,
kidding.
that is
They'd only
true.
be a year apart. But
well, the night he was born and mom, was hemorrhaging and anyway in the hospital for a long time, and it was just Adam and me. We were engaged, Adam and me holding David for hours. And I remember thinking, he can't take care of this. This is our baby. Like if she dies, this is our first child. We will have to take David. And Adam, the same thing. He thought, I guess we're starting our family early,
Wow.
and so, but making sure that, I don't know. So lots of fun things. I love that. I loved it when you guys would come to our house. I loved sitting either on the porch if I was pregnant while you guys played flag football or steal the flag in the
Still
front
flag.
yard.
That's the game.
Steal the flag. Or if I wasn't pregnant, then I could play. And I love Dare Base and I love Steal the Flags and I love volleyball days and stuff like that when we all come together. And
That is fun.
it is
Or
so much
colored
fun.
Easter eggs.
Yeah, colored eggs when we play colored
All
eggs.
the fun ones.
on
I
the-
actually have a fun memory. I'm glad you brought up memories because I had one. I was like, I'll share this at some point. But I feel like my favorite memory of you, well, there's a couple of them. We've recently started playing hide and go seek with Johnson. and he just like he'll hide in the same place every time, and he comes out way before we even find him. It's not really like a hide and seek. It's just like he just announces where he's
Hide and
going
laugh.
stuff. I remember doing that when we went to play at your apartment, like probably right after you got married, and we went and we were playing hide and seek, and you're like, okay, everybody stop. Like, I will be the one that goes and hides. So you got to learn how to do it. And I'm sure that we were just doing the same thing. That we were just
You taught them how to play it.
announcing ourselves and
Time out.
Gonna learn the real rules.
and you're like, yeah, that one. And then there's a couple of them like that, but I'd say they're pretty similar. And then Texas, I think it was awesome when you guys lived in El Paso to spend a couple weeks. I can't remember even how long we spent there.
You were
but
there like a month, and that was really fun. I always felt like I tried. I didn't want to lose because when I'm 40 and David's 20, he's doing things differently than I want to do at the time.
Yeah.
But I've always tried to poor Matt, hurt your husband. He has dragged me around the back of that boat so many times while I'm trying to get up on the wakeboard or the skis or something, and I can't do it, but I want to try so that I have the same experience. Poor Matt has to, I want to try it again.
I don't think it has ever crossed his mind that you take more times than normal.
Oh man, but I don't want to miss it. So if David's doing it, that means probably everybody's doing it, and that means I need to do it so that I could sit at home and be tired at 40, but anyway, so
You're going to be a very young 60-year-old.
I think I will be a very young 60-year-old when I get
Try
there.
to keep up with the rest of us.
Yeah, I think I will be. So
Well, please don't. 'cause
hopefully
I'm
David will
slowing
tire
down.
out by then.
yeah, just
Yeah.
squish everybody
squish it
into
in.
the room.
Are you all middle-aged yet?
Yeah, please,
Pretty close to
please
the
slow
same.
down.
I'm getting discounts at Denny's. and I want to act my age.
Let's go to the movies. I got $2 off the senior discount. Anyway, so that's been fun. It's been fun to try and keep up with the younger kids. I think I've done a pretty good
I think
job.
you've
at
done
keeping
a
up.
great-
I feel like I
yeah.
always play football or always play frisbee.
I think
or
you do
whatever,
way better than
so-
I do.
So it's been fun, but it does. It keeps you younger longer,
Yeah.
and then we get to know each other better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it's so interesting to hear your experience. Number one, we just go through our own experience, and we don't really take as much time to think about what other people's experiences look like or how it contributed to the situation. And that's the case here. Listening to you, and especially now where we're raising kids and we know a little bit more about what it's like to run a house and to provide for a family and stuff like that. You just have no idea what goes into it until you're in there. And especially thinking about okay, if we were then spread more thin than we already are, who could step up or help support some of those things. I think you did an awesome job at that, and I think that if we were to I would say it's probably pretty unanimous that that's what people think. Part of the crucial role of an oldest child is to be the first one to step into some of those roles, and I think that's probably why we have stereotypes about oldest children and the way that they act. Monica's an oldest, and I think you did as well.
You're
as
very
anybody
sweet.
could have.
You have offered me several times throughout the years validation at certain times when I actually in saving moments where I was crumbling. And one time you did that. I think it was actually Johnson's blessing. You took me aside and said, it just dawned on me that you had you said to me, you've lived a whole lifetime before any of us have even gotten started. And I don't appreciate that. And that meant a lot to me. Because we had 4 kids before I was pregnant at your wedding, with our 4th baby before anybody even got started. And there's all these years, just knowing that somebody saw, I'm not just 21 all the time while everybody's 21, there's a lot of experience, and that it takes work and joyful, happy work, but it does take work to make sure that we try to be there as much as we can so that we can get, it would be really easy to just be hey, we've got our own kids, we've got our own life, and so, anyway, so you did that. You've done that for me several times, from, when you wrote me that letter one time and I was in the middle of a miscarriage and, it just, you've been a miracle for me several times. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah. And I remember that conversation that you're talking about with Johnson's.
Yeah. You had so many other things to do that day and you made sure I was.
Yeah. I feel like I'm
special
a very similar experience or very similar thoughts going through my mind right now. As you talk about what it was like being the mother or trying to fill some of those roles as mom goes to school and stuff like that. I'm like I had no idea. I'm just growing up, and it's
Yeah.
easy to just overlook that and to
Excuse me.
think nothing of somebody's effort or what they put into a situation that makes it as good
That
as
you
it
had
is.
this like well of wisdom right by you, and you're like, I had to walk.
Oh, I always knew she was wise.
I had
and
this
so
oracle
wise.
as a bigger sister, and I just thought,
I think,
come to my game.
like in my mind, I'm thinking of like a bridge. If it like she helped bridge this gap that I didn't even know. Like I didn't even know the gap was there. I didn't
Yeah.
even know I was walking across a bridge.
Yeah.
I just I was living life and it was great. I was growing
just
up.
happy you're
and-
not wet.
Yeah.
Falling in water.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I'm glad you clarified
Well,
that
we
because
all-
I was
yeah.
trying to think.
We all
she
have
mean
those.
wet?
Yeah.
Falling in water from a bridge.
From the bridge, off your
But
bridge.
does a bridge usually go? I always assume a bridge is over water.
No, yeah.
Or fire.
I was thinking like
No,
literally like
bridges can't be for fire.
Oh. Well,
Don't be
Frodo
burned.
went across a lava bridge, into Mount Doom.
Oh, like a
That's
like a
all I meant.
volcano
Yeah,
bridge.
volcano. Yeah.
I think it could be a bridge over just anything.
Anything.
I assumed water.
What a
Glad I
funny
clarified.
tangent. No, yes, you both have been super instrumental. I always tell Lacey, like, when I feel like Heavenly Father is teaching me things, Lacey gives a voice. She gives language to my soul, and you, like, make me feel loved. And that's,
John's a great
Special.
lover.
he is a good,
He has
Seeking
a lot
out
of
the one.
love.
Seeking out
He's
the
like
one.
the male form of you. Where it's like you brought all this love into the family, and John's like, I'll bring all this love into the family because love is such a huge component.
We're
You need all the
strategically placed.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, he's in the meridian of the family, but
Yeah.
Like a Monday and Thursday.
Yeah.
which are my favorite days. But like
Monday?
we
Really?
need all of these. I love a Monday, and I'll go into that later. But
That's
not
a
in the
podcast for
sense-
another day. How to love Mondays.
Mondays and Thursdays, my favorite days. But we need all the spiritual gifts. We need the doers and we need the thinkers and we need all of those things. But it doesn't stay together and it doesn't have the fuel to go forward without love. And
Yep.
so you need components. I think we have one more sibling that has the love component. I think it's Sarah. But I mean, we all have love. We're all operating out of love. But there's a few people that lead with love and make sure that that it stays together because it really can't stay unified without the love.
yeah, well, and
we
I
need
think-
you too for sure. I'll tell you what you're doing and I'll explain it because I'm really good at giving understanding.
Analyzation.
But your love is definitely key and component. I've had to learn how to do love in all aspects of all the relationships I've had to learn.
Well, you get
that is.
the gathering and the action, and we just come in and push in the sides. I think make
But
up.
it's needed.
Yeah, it is
yeah.
all needed.
No,
It's all very essential.
Well, I do think like you bring up unity and stuff like that. Like you can have all the skill and talent in a room, you know what I mean? Like within a group of individuals who are gathered together, but unless you I think take the extra steps to figure out like, okay, how are they going to work together and putting in the effort to figure out like how you can show up for other people and then vice versa, like trusting that other people are
Yeah.
going to show up in that way. Like that's how you start to find real unity and function and like the unique dynamics that we can find in families and
It's
and
why
other groups that we're a part of.
It's why we all love the Golden State Warriors because when Steph Curry came on the scene, the team united and they worked together, everybody in their own strengths. If it's just a Steph Curry show, it doesn't work. If he's having an off night, which he will because we all do, the team could fall apart, but they don't because they all build together. And so we all need all of it. And if we're relying on one player all the time, it's just exhausting. And
It
it
is
doesn't work.
exhausting.
And it won't work. It'll
So,
fall apart.
in
We saw
light
it
of
in
that-
BYU basketball last night. Significantly.
That's a bummer.
Yeah,
In
Adam
light
went,
of
to, Adam
that,
went to bed pretty sad.
in light of all of that, in closing, let's close this up a little bit. But we've talked about how you gave to the family, and it was instrumental and even eye-opening to us. Of like, yeah, you really did keep that bridge intact. We didn't know we were on a bridge. So thank you.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna print
much
out a
fun.
certificate and hand it to you.
Yes.
I think we should do it for all the siblings
should
as
do it
we,
for
as
all
we
the siblings.
unfold them, or just like
It's like the end of a
Here we
season.
go.
Let's give everybody
I'll just hand you a
well-done
whiteboard
certificate.
that has this is your certificate on it. But you did really well for us. Is there anything that you would want to say to John and I, your siblings that will watch this, people out there, from an oldest standpoint, what could you desire or ask back of us that like could help you? It's kind of like giving back to a mother that you just assume is going to be there and always taking everything and taking care of everything. But a mom needs something. She needs investment back into her. Like the family only works when we're all giving back into each other. And I think a lot of the times you're so busy giving to us, and we receive it because that's what we're used to. But I don't think the table gets turned very often. So what would be like your closing remarks of how you have received younger siblings giving back to you, and what can we do better to make sure that it's bottom to top just as well as you've done top to bottom?
If I could have anything from any one of you, I would ask for the benefit of the doubt, and to know that I know I've hurt feelings. You know, we all hurt each other's feelings sometimes, but as the oldest, a lot of those like adult anger get flipped on you sometimes, and that I never meant to hurt anybody's feelings on purpose ever. Whatever I was doing or whatever I was doing my life, if it hurt your feelings, that I was never on purpose. Never once have I ever on purpose hurt anybody's feelings, and that just to offer grace, you know, like
Forgiveness.
yeah, some forgiveness. And not that I don't need to say sorry. I definitely don't mind. Like, you know, I'm straight up. I want to shoot from the hip, and I want other people to shoot from the hip. So, but just to know that, man, she tried really hard, you know. So,
Well, hopefully
know
this
that-
podcast, as they're listening,
yeah,
Heather,
Never-
Michael, Sarah, Bailey, John, James, Johnson,
Charlie David.
Carly, David, Mom, Dad, and she tried really hard.
I did try
and
really
there's
hard.
evidence of that now. And John and I have, like, we've known, but this has helped us to know more.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you
Yeah.
from all of us. Thank you, and we want to. I think everyone in their heart of hearts, even without listening to this, I think they know the role you played, and I think they do desire to give that grace.
Which I would hope we would give to all of us. you
Right,
know?
but I think we could all be more intentional
Yeah.
with it. And hopefully when they see this, then they can like, oh yeah, like that's an easy thing to give back.
Yeah.
It's not a hard thing you're asking
Or
from us.
or if it's a little bit tricky and we need to talk about something, let's talk about it. You know, like
Yeah.
I always want to talk about stuff. I always want to get it out in the open, and let's clear the air. So if there's something, you know, like let me help. Or maybe don't let me help. I don't know what I need to do, but just know I'm here to love.
Either talk or forgive.
Yeah.
Those are your only options.
Yeah, no.
I think that's a pretty good route either way. Like, in any case, either
So
talk about it, figure it out,
on
or
this
just forget
episode
it.
of Teach You How to Family.
Teach me how to family.
Teach me. I know it's like that. Teach me how to family. We wrap up with your only routes, as siblings are, talk or forgive.
Yeah.
Work it out or forgive each other and give each other that grace.
Get on
But
with it. Let's get on with it. Yeah.
there's so much unity and so much joy to have.
Yeah.
And a family. And so, like, yeah, forgive it so you can move on, or talk it out so you can move on. But there's, like, family is it's what God set his whole structure up in. So it's the most joy. It's the unit that will give you the most joy. If we're not receiving joy, there's clutter in the way.
Yep.
Move it out. Forgive it out. Talk it out. Whatever it is. But get the debris gone, because it was not intended to not be a source of joy.
Yeah. And the crazy part is like I have yet to experience an issue that can be resolved or made better through talking about it and gaining understanding and having conversations. And it's like, it's uncomfortable, but a lot of times like it's our egos that hold on to things, or thinks that there's not a solution out there. There's no reason to talk about it because it's
Yeah, or it's
yada,
unforgivable.
yada. Yeah. But like I've yet to experience any issue that I'm like, okay, we can't at least make it better or figure something out,
Yeah.
a good direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And always, I think forgiveness is a huge part that
Okay,
comes
so-
and makes it possible.
Yeah, and giving each other the benefit of the doubt. Because I don't know one person in this family that's mean or vindictive, but we do bump into each other sometimes. So just being willing to say, oh, they didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like nobody tried to hurt my feelings, so we can talk about it easily.
Yeah.
Or I can just forgive it.
I think
But
that's
either
something
way,
that
just
everybody could
giving
practice.
everybody the benefit of the doubt
I
is
think
so
we could
powerful.
practice more. All right, so do both. You don't have two options. They're one.
Do both.
Do both. There's steps.
Yeah.
A and B. And vice versa.
Analyze yourself.
B or A.
Do I need to talk? Then do it if you need step B.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thanks,
That'd be
Ange, for
great.
joining us today.
This was fun.
This was,
It was fun.
a fun episode. I liked the new revelation that we got with you, and
I'm
got,
excited
You
to
got
see
my benefit.
all. Yes.
Yes, doubt gone.
Doubt gone. I love you all.
I hope you hang your certificate when we print it off for you. And
Probably will.
certificate of validation.
Yeah.
We appreciate all that you've done for us. So, any other closing words? Yep.
No, I think it's fun. Great. We loved having you. We're
Yeah, this is
excited to have everybody. I mean, I just think that it will be a continuous experience. People
Yeah.
coming on, more siblings
And groups of them.
and groups, and the
Yeah.
whole. Eventually, we'll figure out how to get all 10 of us
yeah, around a table.
and figure
We'll
out
figure
yes
out how to
the
record
best
and
way
do
to
all
talk.
I have a big
Yes.
table. We could do it at my house.
This will be fun, but yeah. So thank you. Thanks for joining us on Woolly 10 today, and hopefully you learned a little bit more how to family.